Hi everyone. My name is Wale Salami and I work for Global Logic, and I'm going to talk to you today about making learning accessible and cost-effective DevOps mindset. So, elevating education the DevOps way. What does that mean to us? To us, it's quick feedback loops and experimentations. Um, that's from the educational point of view. And then for what the presenter gets in this case is a consistent, repeatable environment at scale. The problem, um, how do we provision environments at scale in a repeatable and consistent manner? The challenges we face are managing cost, making sure we don't over provision cloud resources, and also we are all billable consultants. So that's part of the cost. And then we also have time. So from usually when we have a presenter, we usually have like 1 month or less to get ready for an event. So that's one of the challenges. And then we also have logistics, which is everything combined, which includes the pizza for the event, for example, and getting the equipment ready, and getting the support team in place, and ordering, yeah, pizza again. So how do we get there? Okay, so from the time we have a confirmed presenter, we pair them up with an engineer. So we have a buddy system. And the aim for this is so that the presenter can solely focus on preparing the lab and the presentation, where the engineer that's paired up with them will solely focus on making sure they have an environment to work with. And then also the engineer helping out the presenter gathers requirements and then codifies the requirements. In this case, from our experience, of building environments, we already have a blueprint that we reuse basically. And then once the environment is ready, we then move on to testing. So with testing, we have two stages. The first test is done by the engineer that develops the environment or prepares the environment. The person needs to make sure the environment has all the required tools and libraries available. And then the second test is done by the presenter, who then will test the environment provided against their lab that they prepared, basically. And if everything goes well, we then do a dry run. Typically, a dry run is done hopefully 2 weeks before the event. Hopefully, because usually we have time constraint issues. So sometimes it's literally a few days before the event as well. But usually it's supposed to be a few weeks before the event. And the dry run provides an opportunity to discover any hiccups that may occur, essentially the feedback loop before the big day. Also, every person is going to interact with the lab differently. So we want to be able to gather those findings as well. And then finally, also, that gives the support team the opportunity to familiarize themselves with the topic and the lab. So they're able to assist on the event day. So now I am going to move on to the demo. Right. I think I'm gonna. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you first to. Actually, let me see if I can. Nope. I want to zoom in. Right. So this is the infrastructure that we use basically. We already have in here, we have modules that help us provision the environments that we need. In here, we have the module that creates the network, VPCs, and all the stuff for us. And then we have the module that actually creates the workstation. So in here, as you can see, we have this variable here that allows us to determine how many workstations we need, depending on the amount of people that show up. Like in this case, for example, if everyone was to be doing this event, we will probably have to provision like around 80 environments also. So, and then this is how we also control what goes into the VMs by using user data. In there, we pass in the host name and the username and password that we come up with, so users on the day can then access their workstation. Also, we pass in the Git repo that the presenter uses to prepare their lab as well. And then we're also in control of the image that we use, which I'm going to talk about in a minute because we have now decided to move on to Packer as well. Here we use a module for assigning domain names to each VM, basically. And then I'm going to show you our user data script. So this is where the environment gets everything that the presenter has requested for, basically. Everything here stays normally the same, which is setting the host name, adding the username, which is usually playground, and then we update the VM, and then the main thing is that we provide for the presenters are VS Code, which is via browser, and then we also provide a terminal as well. So, and then in this case, the presenter wanted, actually, all right, sorry. What we do is I need to speak about branching strategy. So for each playground that we do an event, we create a new branch. So the latest one was September. So in this case, the last person worked on Redux, I think, and the only thing they wanted it being installed was MVM, so Node 16. That's it. And then from there, we're gonna move on to the Packer image. So we decided to move on to Packer because we realized that sometimes provisioning labs on the day can be really time consuming depending on what the presenter asked for. So we have had a presentation where someone wanted like a 2 gigabyte file downloaded. So that meant every time we spin up a VM, that 2 gigabyte takes time to download. So we decided to just have it downloaded by using a ready-made image. And that was done through...
Wale, in a provisioner, yeah? So you went from a provisioner to Packer? A Terraform provisioner to Packer?
No. So that's not how. So I didn't show that in here, by the way. So the one that we did like that was where was it? I think August. Hold on. No. Right. So in here so the playground we had in August. That's the first time we used this. The Packer image, as in we used a GitHub action to actually automate the workflow, where in here we are, so we're setting up the image by having the scripts in here. And this is the part that took so long. That's why we decided to opt for that, and that's what we'll be going forward with as well, where anything that might take time, we just put it in here and then push it in, and GitHub action would then kick in and and then uploads the image into AWS in this case. And obviously, because we also use Azure and GCP, if a presenter requires any of those cloud as well, we can also amend the script by just creating a new branch for that. So yeah, that's that to the Packer image. Also, we have a sign-up form because people usually come from Meetup, and it would be tedious to just be downloading and manually uploading names and everything. So we have that automated as well. This does that for us. The user sign-up, which goes to the Meetup API, grabs all the users that sign up to our event, and then from there, it populates our database with that. And then we also control what the name of each the name that's given to each participant is defined in here. And also, if we wanted to add extra keys to what we give them. This part here that you're seeing is what they get when they go to the lab.devopsplayground.org. So here, you just put your name in here. And then it will give you your own details, basically. You get your username, password, and then the IDE, terminal, and the README, which you will then follow to work on your lab, basically. And then I think the next part is Terraform. So we use Terraform Cloud. In here, as you can see, this is the workspace for the infra. Last playground we deployed 30 instance, but in this case, for today, for now, I'm just gonna do maybe 2. And in case the lab actually requires a bigger instance type, we just change that in here as well. And this is how we control the URL, the repo that also gets put in. And then the password to enter in the terminal as well is given in here. And we control the AWS credentials through variable sets as well. So it makes it easier. We don't have to touch that. The only thing we usually touch is the deploy count. I'm just going to deploy something now. So while that is deploying, I will then show you one of the benefits of using Terraform Cloud for us is that after each event, we ideally don't want to have to worry about destroying all the labs. So now we make use of the auto destroy part. So in here, as you can see, I've already set it for today at 10 p.m. Wherever I deploy today will be automatically destroyed at 10 p.m. So that helps us mitigating costs. Also, the way we also deploy for each event that happens every month is by coming in here to change the branch that we focus on. So I think this should be on, sorry, I'm trying to find, so this is the branch here. So if for October, which happens next week, we're gonna have to change that to 2023 October, and then this will just automatically point to the new playground that we're doing, basically. So now let's see how far we are with the runs. Okay, it's almost done. Once it's done, I will be able to come into this lab on the day. We give this URL to every participant. And what we used to have in here is that the name has to match up with the meetup names that we've received. But now we have changed that to whatever they put in, basically. That was done because on the day, most people didn't know what their meetup name was in comparison to what is expected in here. And that could be time consuming, which is why now anything you put in here would split up lab details for you, basically. And this right here, Inspired Panda, is definitely not at the top of the 2 lists, so I know that one exists. But I know the first 2 that are normally there, we can see that in here. Hold on, where was the sign up form? So as you can see, the first one is always going to be Funny Panda, and then we also have Sweet Panda. So those are the 2 labs that are actually going to be provisioned right now. I just haven't cleared the database, which is why this is still showing like continuous data, basically. So now we are almost there. So yeah, just gonna show you the IDE. You just change this part to Funny Panda. It's still working, don't worry. Terminal as well. All right, as you can see, the terminal is ready. With that, I just come in here, the password is state. And you have your lab. And from in here, you can then go into your workspace where.
Can you make that bigger?
Oh yes. So,
Thank you.
awesome. All right. So you have the that work there directory, and then from here you now see whatever the playground is about, which is managing global state with Redux, right? And then from here you can then start following the instructions that is given to you from the README in the presenter's repo, basically. As you can see here, as part of the event, the presenter prepares you a nice lab, which teaches you how to whatever they want to basically teach you. In this case, we have that, and then also if you needed the IDE as well, we have VS Code ready for you as well. Yes, I trust this. And then we have the project, and you can straight away work from in here as well, and also you have your README in here as well. So that's that's how we prepare for an event. And I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about in the demo. Let's just see. Yep, I have. So just give me a second. Right. So now, what are the key takeaways? Is that we leverage the elasticity of the cloud to manage cost, and also by doing so, we have the ability. I mean, by doing what by deploying our own infra like that, we have the ability to introduce guardrails as well. Also, we have a defined process for elevating education in an automated way. We also have cross-collaboration with presenters and engineers. And one of the best benefit as well is after preparing the lab, you can just deploy with just one click. And also, in terms of accessibility as well, anybody will be able to interact with the lab as it's everything online. So regardless of what machine you're using, as long as you have a browser, you'll be able to learn. That's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Fabulous. Excellent stuff, Wale. Thank you very much. Anybody got a question for Wale? Anyone? You covered absolutely everything. John Buero, as I live and breathe.
Thanks, Wale. One thing I was surprised about, you didn't introduce yourself at the beginning. What do you do?
So within GL, I'm a delivery consultant. I'm a DevOps engineer. So.
Are you a trainer still or not?
Oh yes, I am. Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, and also I deliver. I deliver HashiCorp Terraform training as well. So yes, and this is why I also know about the system, because I use it a lot to deliver Terraform training.
Good stuff. Okay, I guess you two know each other.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Any other questions? Right at the back. Oh, right. Okay. So I've got this. This usually goes horribly wrong when I'm involved. I do apologise for you people just here. Any first aiders in the room? Hey.
Touchdown.
Good.
In terms of your continuous integration and continuous delivery for any features that you may need to add, how do you go about it? Because I didn't see any pipelines in there. Or
Yeah. So we are all busy right now. So yeah, there's a lot of improvements that we could literally do to this, but it's just, remember we're consultants, so we're all billable. So ideally we need to work on making it more automated. As you can see, we only just, this has been going on for years, but we only even just started using Packer. So, and even that was straight away deployed with GitHub Actions, but the rest, automating the rest, it depends on engineers' time in it.
There's a lot of people in the room who are prepared to offer you some services to enhance the CI/CD capabilities of the tool. Cool, great question. Any other questions for Wale? No? Okay, good stuff. Good talk, nicely delivered. Thank you very much, Wale.